The top 5 richest European billionaires. What would the world's billionaires list look like without the American and Asian mavericks doing spectacular things in tech and other fields of endeavor? Take away these two groups and you could find an exciting crop of European billionaires who made their fortune from unlikely areas. Today, we'll look at the top 5 European billionaires and what they do for money. Welcome back to our channel. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you get notified every time we upload a new video. Number 5. Beate Heister and Karl Albrecht Jr., $39.2 billion, Germany. Heirs to the Aldi retail fortune, Beate Heister and Karl Albrecht Jr. are the children of Karl Albrecht Sr., who died in July 2014 at age 94. After World War II, Karl Sr. and his brother Theo Sr., who died in 2010 at age 88, took over the family's corner grocery store in Essen, Germany. Propagating the discount revolution in German retailing, they built the Aldi supermarket chain based on a low-price strategy similar to Walmart. In 1961, the brothers split ownership. Karl Sr. took the stores in southern Germany plus rights to the Aldi brand in the UK, Australia, and the US. Theo Sr. got the stores in northern Germany and the rest of Europe. In 1971, he bought US grocery chain Trader Joe's. The family entity, Siepmann Stiftung, is believed to own at least 75% of Aldi Süd, with the rest owned by charitable foundations. Beate Heister has never worked at Aldi Süd, but with her husband Peter and son Peter Max Heister, one of 6 children, sits on the advisory board. Karl Jr. has no children, has worked in different positions at the company, but withdrew from his duties after being diagnosed with cancer. Beate's husband and children, along with Karl Jr.'s wife, Gabrielle Mertez, are all believed to have a share in the fortune. Number 4. François Pinault, $52.3 billion, France. François Pinault is honorary chairman of luxury group Kering, which owns fashion brands Saint Laurent, Alexander McQueen, and Gucci. Pinault founded Kering, which started as a wood and building materials company in 1963. In 1999, Pinault changed the direction of the business towards luxury goods when he bought a controlling stake in Gucci Group. The company that made $16 billion in 2020 sales also owns watch brand Girard-Perregaux, which is run by Pinault's son, François Henry. Pinault and his family own iconic auction house Christie's, plus a $5,000 piece art collection with works by Picasso, Mondrian, and Koons. The Pinault Collection Museum is set to open in the 18th century Bourse de Commerce building in Paris in 2021. In 2013, Pinault was worth $15 billion, making him the 53rd richest person in the world and the 3rd wealthiest man in France. In under a decade, he has more than tripled his net worth. Pinault was born on August 21st, 1936, in Le Champ-Garreau, a small commune in the west of France. Raised by a timber trader in the rural French countryside, François worked in his father's timber business at an early age. By the age of 16, he had dropped out of school in Rennes. In 1956, Pinault enlisted in the military during the Algerian War. After returning to civilian life, he experienced the passing of his father. He subsequently sold his family's timber business, and the rest is history. Today, François Pinault and his family have a private art collection of more than 5,000 pieces. His first major purchase was a piece by Paul Seruzier in 1980. Some of the most notable pieces are from artists such as David Hammons, Rudolf Stingel, Koons, Paul McCartney, Donald Judd, and other contemporary artists. He initially collected 20th century art by artists like Picasso and Mondrian. Number 3. François Bettencourt Meyers, $83 billion, France. François Bettencourt Meyers is a French billionaire heiress and the richest woman in the world. Raised to be a strict Catholic, she has written several Bible commentaries and works on Jewish-Christian relations. She is the only daughter and heiress of Lillian Bettencourt. She married Jean-Pierre Meyers, the grandson of a rabbi. They raised their children, Jean-Victor and Nicholas, as Jewish. Her marriage caused controversy because of her grandfather Eugene Schuller's trial for collaboration with the Nazi government. He was L'Oréal's founder. Bettencourt Meyers and their family still own a 33% stake in the company. In 2008, she sued François-Marie Bonnet for taking money from her mother, and she started proceedings to have her mother declared mentally incapable incompetent. The revelations and the secret recordings that were used in the evidence led to the Worth-Betancourt scandal. In December 2010, Betancourt-Meyers announced that she had settled out of court with her mother and Bonnier. Her mother died in September 2017 when her net worth was about $39.5 billion, which makes Betancourt-Meyers among the top 20 wealthiest people in the world. After a fire severely damaged Notre Dame de Paris, Betancourt-Meyers and L'Oreal donated $226 million to repair the cathedral. Even though she is better known as the heiress of the world's largest cosmetic company, Betancourt-Meyers also has an active academic career. A prominent author, she has written books on Jewish-Christian relations as well as on Greek mythology. Number 2, Amancio Ortega, $84.9 billion, Spain. Amancio Ortega of Spain is one of the wealthiest clothing retailers in the world. A pioneer in fast fashion, he co-founded Inditex, known for its Zara fashion chain, with his ex-wife Rosalia Mera in 1975. He owns about 60% of Madrid-listed Inditex, which has 8 brands including Massimo Dutti and Pull & Bear in 7,500 stores worldwide. Ortega typically earns more than $400 million in dividends a year. He has invested his dividends primarily into the real estate in Madrid, Barcelona, London, Chicago, Miami, and New York. Amancio Ortega Gaona was born in Busango de Arabas, Leon, Spain on the 28th of March 1936. He is the son of Antonio Ortega Rodriguez and Josefa Gaona Hernandez. He mostly spent his childhood in Leon. Ortega left school at an early age and moved to Corunna at the age of 14. Shortly after, he founded a job as a shop hand for a local shirt maker called Gala, which still sits on the same corner in downtown Corunna. He learned his trade from there. His public appearances in 2000 as part of the warm-up prior to his company's initial public offering on the stock market in 2001 made headlines in the Spanish financial press. Ortega was, however, the only one who was ever granted interviews to 3 journalists. In 2011, Ortega announced his imminent retirements from Inditex parents company to the Zara chain, stating that he would ask Inditex Vice President and CEO Pablo Isla to take his place. Number 1, Bernard Arnault, $187.1 billion, France. Of the world's ultimate tastemakers, Bernard Arnault, the owner of luxury group Moet, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, LVMH, briefly became the richest person alive in May, according to the latest data from Forbes' real-time billionaires list, replacing Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. However, after a short duration, Bezos reclaimed the top spot with a wealth estimate of $188.2 billion. Arnault remains in the second position with a net worth of $187.1 billion on the Forbes real-time billionaires list. He is the CEO and owner of the luxury goods conglomerate Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton, LVMH, the world's largest luxury goods producer. The group owns more than 70 different luxury brands, including Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Tag Heuer, Givenchy, and Moet, among others. The group is the most valuable company in Europe with more than $329 billion in market capitalization. Bernard started working in his father's construction company in the early years of his career and earned a small fortune, which he used to buy Christian Dior in 1985 by acquiring its bankrupt parent company, BEZOS Saint Frères. Soon after, Arnault managed to invest and take over the LVMH brand. He then went on to a 2-decade run to bring major luxury brands under the umbrella of LVMH. The latest of these luxury brands to join the fold was Tiffany & Company, the American jeweler, in a $15.8 billion deal. The deal was the largest for any luxury label. Through a significant stake in LVMH and other brands, his fortunes depend heavily on how the companies are doing on the stock market. If the shares rise, so does his net worth. While LVMH's profits and revenue fell in 2020, the share prices have continued to increase through the year. That's why Arnault's wealth has steadily climbed over $100 billion in just the last year, after LVMH announced recently that it collected $16.7 billion in revenues in the first quarter of 2021, up by a significant margin from last year. The stock prices rose even higher. It is yet to be seen if Arnault can reclaim the top spot as not only Europe's richest man, but the world's most prosperous, as he continues to buy shares of his company while at the same time Bezos is selling his shares of Amazon.